to LinkedIn Live with Digit Murphy and Taylor Woods. You know, T Woods, it's kind of like being in a hockey game and not expecting some things to happen. So we're in the flex and flow mode. We were trying to get on LinkedIn Live. We had a few technical difficulties, but in the true Toronto 6 form, we are in flex and flow mode. So welcome to the show, T Woods. We're a little late.
Thank you. No, it's only late if you don't show up, right? So we're here.
Right.
We're going to talk some good stuff about NILs and some women's sports, and that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, unbelievable. So, welcome to the show. I think people know who you are, but for people who don't know who you are, I'm just going to say a couple things and then I'm going to give it to you. But T Woods is just an amazing athlete. Right now, she's doing lots of strongman. She pulls like trucks. Like, get on her Instagram. It's T Woods Training. You can see this woman like she's carrying like these giant boulders and she's like pulling trucks like it's insane. But the way that I know Taylor is she's a fellow Cornell alum. She played at Cornell for years, storied career there. Then she played several years in the CW, played for me on the Six for a couple of years. So, Taylor, welcome to the show. And I know that that's an intro off the top of my head. Is there anything you want to add there?
Yeah, no, thank you. It's pretty much just the pursuit of just sport excellence for me. It's like when I'm in strongman, strong woman, it's just I'm trying to find what's the absolute and relative strength that I could show and what I could lift, and that's kind of the same in kind of all sports in an athletic pursuit anyway. So that's what I'm still trying to strive to. I'm trying to challenge myself every day. So.
Well, you're the best. You're inspiration. More people should know about Taylor Woods. All the stuff that you're doing right now is phenomenal. Like, I seriously like. I'll be, I'll like be scrolling through Instagram and I like see T Woods like carrying this like boulder on her shoulder and like throwing like these sacks. They look like potatoes, but they're like freaking 150-pound sacks over walls. I'm just like who thinks of this stuff? But anyways, we talk about that another time. We're here to talk NIL. We're here to talk the new frontier of NIL in college sports. We're here to talk about NIL for women, which is vastly different for men, and that no one has any idea. They think they're just going to show up and make a bunch of money. I mean, definitely Caitlin Clark is, but there's other women who are kind of left behind. We're here to talk about that and educate them on the reality, and we're also talking about our workshop. I want to put the plug in right away. In-person workshop in New York City on June 6th during Tech Week. Look it up. Go to our website, uwsnil.com, and register for our workshop. T Woods, it's going to be phenomenal. There's going to be so many athletes there, brands, sponsors, tech. We're going to talk about that. But you played in the PHF for a while. You played in the PW? No, you weren't drafted. I can't remember.
I did. No, I
You
missed
did
it, and
not.
I was like, I
Okay.
was watching the draft the whole time. And it is what it is. It's one thing here, one thing there. They wanted a veteran defenseman, and or they want a veteran defenseman here, veteran defenseman there, and just sometimes you just miss out.
No. And I didn't say that to make you feel bad. I'm so old I could not remember. So I didn't know if you played a few games or not. No big deal. You're there. You'll be playing again. Foreshadow. But anyways, so you do understand though NIL and how it impacts athletes, and that's what we're talking about today. And one of the things I wanted to ask you was, as an athlete, have you done like how long does it take to like procure content and post it? I think some of these barriers to big contracts are that you just don't have time to train and do the socials.
Yeah, because it takes a little bit of a focus if you're not really set, and it takes a focus not within the session but outside the session. When overall you want to be an athlete, you want to be who you are, and the social media is kind of becoming what people are. But it's like I don't want to when I'm on the ice and I'm doing this drill. I don't want to. Okay, pause, guys. I'm gonna set up a camera and I'm gonna go record this. Unless you have someone in the stands or what team have social media managers and stuff like that. It's like, hey, like let's get content. But again, it's like, hey, you're thinking about let's get content, and it's like, guys, let's score goals. Um, So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different perspective, and it's like it's something that it has to be added on. It's like, hey, like
Yeah.
this is it is the now. It's the now that people have to think about. Okay, how can I present myself here and in many different facets? Um,
Yeah.
so
It's
it
funny.
is difficult.
Oh, sorry. I didn't want to step on you there. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. And I think a lot of the misconceptions about NIL, especially between men and women, and for those listeners who don't know what NIL is, I forget. It's name, image, and likeness. And there's a lot of talk around NIL now because there's billions of dollars circulating on the men's side.
Yeah.
It's all, and I can't stress this enough. Most of the NIL deals, unless you're, you know, Caitlin Clark and Paige Bucher and all those guys in the women's basketball world, where you know you're a top volleyball player. Uh, I mean, those are the people that are having millions and millions of views and followers, and that's how they measure your value for NIL. So I think what people forget about in the name, image, and likeness rights is that the guys have been working for years and years and years through uh, pro sports, you know, having themselves on television through media rights deals with Big Ten football or, you know, Power Five conferences or March Madness. Like these media rights deals are what brings up the value of the athlete's name, image, and likeness. And T. Woods, like, you were in the PHF, man. You were at Cornell back, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago, 10. I don't even know how many. And you're not on television. And people aren't understanding the connect between being on television or having a million viewers on Instagram or YouTube with monetization. What do
Yeah.
you have to say to that?
You even have to look at the sports. So even the percentage of sports. So on the men's side, football takes about 72% of even all NILs, like men's, women's. Football takes about 72% of that. So how you kind of splice it down on the women's side, it's broken down into three sports. It is basketball, which basketball is March Madness. They're on TV. They get now a little bit more respect because fans want to follow these people from what they've seen in the March Madness, thanks to NILs and like all the promotion, to see where they go on in their careers, right? That's a big push, and that's why like the WNBA is as big as it is right now. But then you have volleyball, which is also big, and gymnastics. But unfortunately, like it's just it doesn't spread out between even like the other sports like hockey. Like
Or
hockey,
soccer?
there's
I didn't hear you
soccer.
mention soccer, and
Soccer's
that's
big.
huge,
It's big.
huge. But they're not on
Um,
TV,
they're
and they
not on
don't have these
TV.
like one person followings. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to step on you, but I'm like it gets so passionate about it because I feel like women think they're exactly equal to men right out of the gate, and what they're not understanding in the grand scheme of everything is that the systems that are put in place by the NCAA or the institutions, the colleges, or even in the pro sports world are are skewed right now because of the history to the men's side or to the ownership. Like for example, in the PWHL, I think you know this in the CBA. I think it's in the CBA. I gotta dust up my CBA notes, but uh, they can't use the PWHL marks. So anything that they can get is outside of any deals the PWHL has. So So if you are shooting content for T Woods training, that yes, you can say you're a player on the PWHL, but you can't use any of the footage or any of the marks. So I think
And
that's where people
that's
get
how they
lost.
actually did. And they have actually a select number of players that is like, hey, you know what? We're going to advertise you. We see you as marketable. We're going to advertise you, even though you have a full team that is fairly talented and that will do anything for you. It's just like, hey, we're selecting these players because your name, image, and likeness go along, and we're going to build our brand with you as well.
Yeah, and so you know, as someone who's tried to market their NIL, name, image, and likeness, tried to monetize it, like suggestions or things would you advise young athletes or athletes in college to do to just start to promote their brand?
Just be yourself. I got even the endorsements and sponsorships that I got is just because those companies, those owners saw who I was and saw the passion that I wanted to help out other people. So I wanted to help other people. They saw how much, like how hard I worked in my sport, and they're like, "Hey, we see you wanting these other athletes that we sell to be like you. So you're a perfect role model to just show us like, hey, like this is who we want. This is if you're like this, there's people like that you that will use your product. So pretty much just be yourself and be comfortable with being yourself and yeah, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Film when you need, film what you want, right? There is like some sort of rules, like you see the days in the life, you see the trends that people recommend, but if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You could show yourself and people like the authenticity of it.
Yeah. Now, do you have well, so what I'm hearing you say is tell your own authentic story, be yourself. Some of the technical aspects of it, do you have any tricks? Because, like we talked about it earlier, you don't have a social media team following you around, right?
No.
Like, what are some of the tricks? Like, do you have a microphone? Do you have like a tripod that you set up? And how many like times a week would you post? Just for the average person, because I kind of feel like this, T Woods, like if people start to just get comfortable with the camera, get comfortable with their journey, I think people really want to hear about the women's sports figures, okay?
Yeah.
And I feel like, and you were saying it earlier, okay, you don't want to always think about the camera. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If you want to make some cash, baby, that's life, right? So,
Yeah.
so hopefully you could almost approach your NIL journey like you do an athletic journey, right? You're like, okay, every day when I get up, I'm going to post my workout. I'm going to post what I eat for breakfast, right? And then perhaps if you could develop that rhythm with the equipment, maybe you can give us an idea of what you use.
Yeah.
That maybe if you do it once a week, that's a start. I don't know. Just me putting it out there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, and it's just like there's some content where like you could film and it's like, man, like what am I doing in terms of filming this? There's like, oh, like where am I going? I start to talk and then all of a sudden I'm like not even looking at the camera. You don't have to post it either. It's just for you to get comfortable with the camera and then all of a sudden you're just doing it. You're just doing it. So like even it is very common in terms of me as a strength coach. Is like I do request a lot of video from my athletes. Hey, like I want to see this move. Hey, I want to see this. I want to know how you're progressing. So I get tons of video, and people just set up their camera for me. I set up my camera, whether it's with a tripod, whether it's high, whether it's low. Sometimes it's just on the ground. Sometimes I use one of my shoes put my phone in my shoe. It's like, hey, you're stable, you're good, and I'll do my lift. And then you go, and people enjoy that, right? People, it's like, whoa, like, okay, my competitors, okay, I'm showing them what I'm doing, but they don't know what I'm actually doing. Um, and even, yeah, like I posted that sandbag video that I was throwing the other day, posted that, and it's like, whoa, like the comments that I got is like, "Oh, Rocky, go! Oh, like that's soaring so high," and it's like it could have been 5 pounds, it could have been 50 pounds, and it's like, whoa, people are interested in what you're doing. So in terms of like any type of footage, one like kind of the basics, you do want a mic. You do want a mic so then people could hear you talk, or that you don't have to project when you talk.
Not like
So
this
you
one.
can get that's a nice one. That is a very nice one.
I don't
Um,
think you could do this when you're on the bench. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, I would just definitely project. Um, so a mic, you got to be cautious of lighting, right? In terms of like a natural setting, it's nice, but if you're doing like even like for me like a mentorship call, like I'll make sure like I'll have a light behind my camera so then it displays and it's like, hey, like I'm the focus. We're here. We're not focusing anything on the background. We're just here, and like you can see my face. Um, and a tripod. A tripod's always good because you get different angles where you can adjust it. You could use it as a selfie stick, even though those kind of faded away. Um, don't be one of those people that run with their selfie sticks as well, saying, "Hey, I'm doing this for
And
10K."
then bam.
Um, authenticity. But it's kind of nice to have those three basics: a mic, some lighting if you can, like something that could attach even to a tripod, or something basic behind a desk, and a tripod.
Yeah, it's funny. And then for those of you who just joined us, this is Digit Murphy and Taylor Woods talking about NIL. I'm going to put another plug that we are having a workshop, an in-person workshop in New York City, June 6th. Come join us. Get your photo taken. Tell your story. We're going to give you a token, a Web3 token. Like, this is all about tech. It's all about leveraging tech for your opportunities in the NIL space. So any D1, D3, high school, pro athlete that wants to learn, please join us during Tech Week in New York City. It's a whole day fun affair. So please join us. This is why we're doing this. We're trying to promote and grow the UWS brand. Anyone wants to sign up, go to www.uwsnil.com, and I should have that on my little banner here, but it'll be on the next one.
I'll be on the next one.
But talking about what you just said about being authentic, making sure that you're doing this like a habit every day. What could you tell other people, like when you're at an event? Like, do you have someone else filming you? Because I think what happens is sometimes it's crappy footage, right? How do you get good footage? And maybe you don't even know this, but like I'll get a video from a kid and it'll be like live barn, and I'm like, that's awful. Like, how do you get good? How do you get good footage? Any tips?
If you have live barn, like, and you're sending it to a coach, the coach kind of understands. It's like, hey, like this is a situation that you're in. It's
I
better
don't
to
speak
get
for
better
NIL though.
footage
No
than
one wants
that.
to see live barn. No one wants to see live barn
No one
on,
wants.
on your video. Like, is there like, do you hire someone? Do you tell your mother to drive to go around with like a little, like, what do you do?
No, like even a parent, right? So a parent, like when I was scouting for my team, I got tons of different footage, and yeah, I got a couple live barn stuff, but I got actually some very good content from parents being by the glass with their phones, and it's like, oh, here. And as a kid, you're like, Mom, stop
Yeah.
it. But at the same time, like inside is like, hey, like thank you for capturing that moment. Like thank you for that because it's gonna go farther.
Yeah.
It's multi-purpose. For me, when I go to my events, I'm very fortunate to have someone that is quote unquote, it's like a handler, right? So it's like, hey, like they'll tell you, okay, you're gonna go on, okay, you're like three spots out. Oh, we got to move our stuff over here. So she grabs so much footage for me.
Oh, you're lucky. That's
Yeah,
good.
of anything, and that's actually the time where it's like, hey, you need a mic, because I was doing a little piece and she couldn't hear me. It's like, oh, man, this would have went viral,
Yeah.
but I didn't have a mic, and those are important details. And it's not just for as like, hey, like it's not. Um, per se like for you, like for me it's like, hey, like I want to interact with this
Right.
person, so I'm going to do what I can, do this maybe like quote unquote maybe little piece, but it's like I actually want to know, like I want to know what your opinion is on this, and I'm going to be asking tons of people, and it was fun. I enjoyed myself, she enjoyed herself, all the people that I asked really enjoyed it themselves, but it's
So
too bad that we didn't have a mic.
so get
Otherwise
creative is what you're saying. Like, just like
get creative.
start doing stuff, because like if you're creative and something is really cool, like no one's going to see it unless you post it, right? It's not like you're doing live like we are right now. Like, we're live. Hello, we're live on LinkedIn. If we mess up, we're live. Oh well. But I think that the more, I don't want to say crazy because you don't be crazy, but the more creative you can be, I think that will help you. But you just made my brain explode when you just talked about the moms against the glass, right? I'm going to challenge some of these organizations or even like your team in Canada to have an upload link, okay? And I think that people should be able to share each other's content. So uh, I think you guys on your team should have like a group Google link, and then people could pull it, and
Yep.
everyone could share each other's content. And maybe they already have that. I don't know. But
People do
I
that.
think
Yeah.
that would be a really cool idea, especially as you get into the high school area and especially the college, because sometimes you're not going to be able to use your college footage. So, anyways, teams should set those things up.
They should, and even as just like on higher platforms. What is that? One of the hockey platforms is just like, hey, you could isolate your shifts. Um,
Oh,
right, so you could always.
what was the one that we used? Instant.
Oh, Instat,
I'm using
Instat. There we
PHF.
go.
Instat, not that. It's not Instat. Is it the other one?
Oh,
Huddle.
um,
We don't know. We have to do a commercial for them. Anyone that wants to call us, like, we'll be on a commercial for you so we can remember your name and we can, hey, and by the way, if there's any sponsors, you can sponsor this. Like, I think,
yeah.
let me go back to this sponsor thing now that I'm on a roll for sponsors. It's like, why aren't sponsors looking for end, lower points of entry into the women's sports world? I think what sponsors aren't even understanding is how impactful stories are of someone like you, Taylor Woods. Does anyone here know, and I'm going to fun fact, that Taylor Woods can shoot right-handed and left-handed in hockey? And anyone that has ever held a hockey stick has to know that she can, like, she could have played when on the Toronto Six. I could say, hey, T Woods, play left wing now. Use a left stick. Oh, hey, T Woods, play right wing. Use a right-hand stick. And she can shoot. Like, that's a story in and of itself. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there are all these stories out there of women that can do crazy, crazy cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the point of entry is so low. Like, you could do this for like $5,000. Like, T Woods would love to have $5,000 right now to go rep your stuff. I mean, within reason. Like, you don't want to get ripped off.
Within reason, but it's like for me, it's just like one, like thank you for noticing, thank you for acknowledging my passions, my athletic pursuits, and like all athletes are like team loyal, they're brand loyal. So they would say, hey, like you're a teammate, you're my team, let's kind of create that team like atmosphere. AKA why I'm still wearing an Athleta
Yep.
hoodie,
Yes.
because they supported
Ah,
the
from day
T6. They
one.
supported
From day
us
one.
through like a time where it's like, wow, like we're trying to grow something here, and you want to be a part of that. I think that's important, and it's also just bringing awareness to these brands and to these companies. It's like, hey, it doesn't cost you a lot, but this is how you could support, and this is your return. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just an awareness piece.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, one of the great stories of the Toronto Six when I was the president there was having that call with Athleta. It's so funny. Like, I'm sitting here. This shirt right here, this dress shirt is Athleta. I got it in one of the. Remember they gave us so Athleta. For those of you guys don't know, when I went up to be the president of the Toronto Six. By the way, which was in enemy territory at the time. Like, let's do a little women's hockey history. Like, the Canadians did not want the PHF up in Canada. Do you remember that? Like, we were
I did not.
boxed out by the Ontario Hockey Association. We were boxed out by the refs. It was nuts, okay? And it was COVID, and we're like, what are we doing? So we started this team during COVID, and it was, I think it was a first year, wasn't it, that we were sponsored by Athleta? When did we get the
Second
first
and third year.
Second, third
Second
year, right?
and
The
third
first
year.
year was COVID, right?
Yeah.
So Athleta happens to be going up into the Toronto area. They were going to go to, was it Yorkdale? What was the mall? Yorkdale?
Yorkdale. Yeah.
Yorkdale Mall. They were heading into there, and someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to potentially talk to you guys about sponsorship." Like, first of all, how awesome was it that they reached out to us?
Oh, amazing.
Right? Sick, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got on the call, what the biggest thing that I was so impressed with Athleta was, it was a Zoom call, of course, because we were all in COVID. Well, we were in COVID in Canada, but in the U.S. they weren't in COVID. Remember that border crossing? It was nuts. Everyone
Yeah.
in Canada, I guess I got to tell everyone in Canada thought that if you went into the US, you were just going to die from COVID. People were so scared. That was nuts. Like I just didn't see anything else. I got like, I would go into places and like, not wear my mask. I'd be in trouble all the time. They would literally, do you remember this, T Woods? They would track you from your phone in Canada during COVID. Like if you left your house, you get a phone call. I was like, this is wild. Remember that? Anyways.
Safety.
Anyway, I know safety first. Look at it. You're just being so Canadian. Safety first. But getting back to Athleta, we get on the Zoom call and there were 9 women. I called it like the Hollywood Squares. There were 9 women on the call. First of all, I'm like, oh my God, I found my nirvana, right? There were like 9 women on the call. And then when we started to tell our story about who we were and what we were doing and why we were doing it, they literally gave us 5 times as much money as they were originally intending. And that's a true partner. That's a true sponsor. And they were the first of many. They actually gave the first 6-figure money before, wait for it, Canadian Tire did. Canadian Tire at the time was unfortunately giving us a pittance because, again, it's all based on this. This relates all back to NIL. It all relates to how many views you're getting. And at the time, Canadian Tire was like, you guys aren't worth anything. You're not on television, so you get a bunch of hockey sticks and like $4,000 in gift cards, right? No. Meanwhile, Athleta comes in and values what we were bringing to the table and gave us a 6-figure, deal. So, at the end of the day, timing is important for Athleta. They were there. They were our partners. And sponsors could truly get a big bang for their buck. We ended up putting them on ESPN+, putting them across the U.S. and Canada. We were doing promos. Look, you're still repping them, okay, as a result. So, I think women are loyal and they're long-term partners. So, hopefully someone, sponsors are listening to this and thinking, wow, we need more women's sports, and not just the high-end ones, not just the ones, the WNBA. I mean, granted, keep giving them money, give out all women money, but start to look at some of the really cool stories underneath in some of these sports that don't get as much recognition. So that was a long story, T Woods, but I had to get on that Athleta thing because they were just amazing partners. So
they were amazing, and even how they structured their team. Like I remember going in there, like we did it a couple times as like a team going into their store, and it's like, man, like their employees, it's like it's just class, and like it's like, hey, like we're talking like we're like teammates and you're helping me out. It's like, hey, did you find everything? And it was wonderful. And that's reflected from like the top down type of thing. So that's, again, like someone that you want to get into partnership with.
Exactly. Speaking of partners, gotta tell you about partners. Okay, you just made me think about it. We just signed a deal with a company called Data Vault. Okay, nice. I don't know if you know about Data Vault, but we signed a deal with them. They're giving us tokens on the Web3 blockchain platform for all of our athletes to put their content inside of a token. Wild. Yeah. And I think a press release just came out. We'll have to do another one. I'll have to do one with them as a sponsor, LinkedIn Live. But I think that it's important to see that a partner like Data Vault is actually believing in what we are doing, which is we're trying to reach as many women as we can to protect their data, and that's what Data Vault does, on the blockchain, and making sure that not only is the data on the token, but also that you can use the token for valuation. And then hopefully the more content you put in the token, the higher your value, and then we can get some true value. When sponsors come out, we can go, hey, take a look at this token. We got all this stuff in here. Look at these women. And those sponsors can see everything that they do. They don't have to just go do their own like search on Instagram and LinkedIn. They can actually just zoom in on this one thing, which is provided by Data Vault. So Data Vault and Verify You, they're 2 companies that are working together. Nice. And it's really awesome to have someone to sponsor us. So, hey, Data Vault, if you're listening out there, thank you. We're going to have to get you something, a Data Vault patch. So when you go over to your Strong Woman thing.
And it's there, and people are like, hey, like, what is this? And it's like, well, yeah, go see my token and see everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
Exactly. Look at this is token, and you know what? It's secure. It's on the blockchain. You know, and if anyone knows what a blockchain is, come back to us because we want to hear it. Send me a message if you know what it is, especially if you're an athlete, because I had to learn a lot about the blockchain. But T Woods, you're a Cornell grad. I mean, me too. But you must know what the blockchain is. So
Well,
I'm
and
gonna
it's
ask
still
you.
like it's a very technological driven world right now, right? So it's just, um, yeah, you do have to kind of know what's going on, but like getting yourself and getting some content and getting um, this token kind of out there, just you branch out in so many different ways. Um, Secure, but it just shows you what more NIL can offer.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, I think one thing I want to go into as I have you on the phone, because I know that you are really doing a lot with youth. Okay. What do you think about NIL and youth, and is there a place for it?
Um, I think there's like the workshop that is going on June 6th is teaching athletes, hey, like this is your image, your name, image, likeness. This is how you could present yourself. This is everything. I think it does have a place in youth because, like, yeah, you know what, like you're playing, you're doing different things, but you have to have that base education because social media is out there. Like all these youth are aware of social media. They're aware of these people on social media. Um, but you got to be educated and you have to have like a youth foundation where it's like, hey, this is the positives about social media. This is the positives of like your image. Not per se it's like, hey, we're gonna put image on you, but it's just more, hey, like you want to be, you're a role model. Yes, you know what, you're 11 years old, but you still have a positive influence throughout your peers. And
Yeah.
this is how you could create that positive influence and be the person who you want and also leave a positive atmosphere of what you want out of the group that believes in you. So those are the things that could be developed in a youth athlete.
That's a really good point. I didn't really think of it that way. That uh, social media sometimes has such a negative connotation, and if we can bring NIL into the conversation to not only educate them on the NIL space, but on the impact that social media has on young people and how they should use it for good and how they should use it for, constructively and respectfully.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. Well, T Woods, we are, as usual, like we're already 32 minutes in, right? And like this is like butter. It's like butter. Like it's us talking like it's butter. I could do this for 3 hours. Anyone that wants T Woods and us on their podcast or, wants to do a LinkedIn Live with us, we are all in. We love doing this. We're on the
Yeah.
Fired Up Network. Joe will be happy if we put that up. We're in the Fired Up Network in Canada all day long. Talking, what are we talking? We're talking NHL now, talking PWHL.
Yeah.
But T Woods,
Maple Leafs.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, it's game. Wait,
It's
which
game
game is it?
6.
Game 6. Okay. I for some
Yeah.
reason I'm like, no, is it game 7? No, it's game 6. I can't believe it's game 6. Like literally, I thought they were just going to blow through Ottawa. Let's talk hockey here for a minute. Like, what is happening there?
Yeah, you know what? Like, it's still a mature
Yeah.
Toronto game and everything like that. I even said because you know what? Like, I'm from the prairies. I'm from like the Winnipeg area, so I'm kind of cheering for the Winnipeg Jets over Toronto.
Kinda.
So when Toronto did play that game 5, I'm like, guys, they're just gonna close it out tonight. And all the Maple Leafs fans is like, shut up. They that you're jinxing us right now. But hey, they're trying to find their game. Like they know it's Ottawa. Ottawa needs a little bit more experience. Whether it's gonna be game 6, game 7, Toronto's gonna make it, and they're gonna be playing Florida. Um, it is what it is. But it's just, hey, like, where can you find, what can you enhance your game over this next little stretch so when Florida comes, you're the better team.
Well, Florida, I mean, they're kind of my team. Like I've kind of adapted them since they beat the Bruins, and now that they have Marchand, I feel like, they're a little an honorary Bruins, whatever. But Oh my God, they just smacked the Tampa Bay Lightning in the face. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable. Like from that, what was it, the last, not last game, the game before, when they just went from 2-1 to like 4-2 in like 4 minutes. Like it was crazy. Like right there, you're like, oh, Tampa Bay's, they're in trouble.
And John Cooper is a good coach. He's a good coach, but they need to change their game. And it's
Yeah,
changing it from a personnel perspective, it's changing it in terms of a philosophy perspective. And Tampa has a good dressing room,
yeah.
but they got to change something around.
Well, we'll see. All right, so guys, we're gonna be finishing up here. We are here to promote the June 6th workshop for the UWS NIL agency in New York City during Tech Week. We hope that you guys can join us in person. It's going to be from 9 to 4. Like I said, in New York City, go to the UWS website. That's www.uwsnil.com, uwsnil.com. Sign up there. We really want to see your faces. Athletes are going to get, and I repeat, you're going to get a headshot. You are going to get a story, and you are going to get a token, amongst other things, maybe some little goodie bags, all that stuff. You'll get lunch. You're going to get a networking little cocktail after. It's going to be awesome. I think everyone should show up and come. Let's pack the place. So Taylor Woods, we hope to see you there, but even if we don't, we'll try to get you into one of these. But how do people get a hold of you, Taylor, in the future if they want to find out about you and more about what you do?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Twoods Training. Still have that little hockey player icon because I'm a hockey player at
Woo!
heart. Play all the time too. Well, I shoot pucks all the time. You could follow me there. I also have twoodstraining.com, so you could see if you're in the area or if you need my support in terms of training, mentorship, online stuff. You could find me at twoodstraining.com as well.
T Woods, it's always awesome to have a conversation with you. Like I said, it's like butter. Miss being in that T room, T Wood, T6, T Woods, T6 locker room, coaching you guys. But I'm coaching you at heart every day. This is Digit Murphy. You can reach us on uwsnil.com. You can find me at Digit Murphy. You can find us all over social media. But, there's only one Digit Murphy in the world. A lot of people would say, good thing, Taylor Woods, my enemies. But my friends, they're like Digit Murphy all the time, all day long. So, all right, T Woods, we'll see you around the ice. For those of you who want to come, please come to our workshop on June 6th during Tech Week and join us there. That's it for Taylor Woods. I'm Digit Murphy. We'll see you next time on our LinkedIn Live. Bye-bye. Hold on, T Woods. I just stopped it.